What's some of the common challenges as a leader that you're facing right now that you're working in the company?
That's a good question. So the common challenges in leadership, I'll be very honest here, and I'm not gonna hold anything back in terms of leadership, because it's so funny. I was telling the team before we went to an event last week. You were at the vault.
Yes.
We saw you guys, and I was telling Mike, you guys have an incredible personality. And when we met at the office, you said Mike he's gonna keep going and going and going, and that's how he got you, right? Because he won't stop. He's relentless.
Yeah.
But one of the common things about leadership is some people don't make the decision to really be leaders, because the decision to be a leader is a huge commitment. It's probably one of the greatest commitments you can ever make in business, is to be a leader. And leadership can be very tough. It can be lonely. It can be a little sad. It can be hard on your personal. It can be hard on your mental. When you really commit to leadership, it takes a lot out of you as an individual, because you're fully vested in the success of somebody else. You no longer have the ability to be by yourself. Leadership is about other people. Leadership is about them living a better life. It's about me eating last. They come first. And if I'm an entrepreneur or CEO like Patrick, it's all about, is the team doing well? Because it doesn't benefit a company for the CEO to do great and everybody else to do bad. So leadership is a very big responsibility. And I think one of the toughest things is some leaders really don't understand the real meaning of what it is to say, I want to lead something. John Maxwell, one of my favorite quotes I've ever read, he says, anybody who thinks they're a leader and turns around and has nobody following was just taking a walk.
That's deep.
So if you're a leader and you think you're a leader, turn around. How many people are following you? Including your family and your kids. Because a lot of people are great at leading companies, and they're great at leading employees and leading 1099s and contractors around the world. They're great leaders on Zoom, but they can't lead their wife. They can't lead their kid.
Yes.
They can't lead their mom or dad. Nobody wants to listen to you. You have no voice or opinion. Leadership is a very deep topic, guys.
Yeah.
Don't even get me going on leadership, Mike.
Right. So leadership is more like a lifestyle now. It's everything.
Wow, I love what you just said. Leadership is a lifestyle.
I love that.
But that's my opinion. How would you answer that question?
Something that I learned from Patrick was a leader should provide three things. Number one is an example. He should lead by example.
Yeah.
Do things that if I'm doing it, I'm showing you, you can also do it. Number two is provide opportunities. You have to provide opportunities not only for your employees, for your community, for your family. You have to lead in every single way. And number three, something that he said at the vault that was amazing, is a leader makes other people do things that they would never do on their own. Is that going above and beyond, getting that one more call, one more contract, one more presentation. Whatever you do, you as a leader, it's example, opportunity, and make people do things that they wouldn't do on their own.
Right. Wow. I love that.
Leadership is one of
So
our
lots
favorite
to talk
topics. So at Valuetainment, we have 4 core beliefs: capitalism, debate, entrepreneurship, and leadership.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that we're building the company on. So leadership is very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you have to initiate a lot of things to build that leadership. So my story here is my wife, she very scared of speaking English. To the
It's just a
audience.
limiting belief, though.
Belief.
So I work with a client who speak in Burmese. I study and work in London couple of years, for like 3-4 years back in London. But it's just limiting belief that I've been wanting to do a podcast for a year and a half, but it was always back and forth. And maybe the wedding just make me a vibrant, vital, optimistic vibe after that, which is like, okay, let's do that. Because there's always like, what if they don't understand my English? You know, it's just a limiting belief. Once it's like break down, so right now, I cannot shut up anymore.
You can't stop.
I can't stop anymore. You know, it's just the fear. I say have doubt and fear, but, you know, I walk with the fear right now. You know, I think everybody has fear. So speaking of fear, do you have any fear right now, Mario?
Fears?
Yeah. What are you afraid of right now?
You know what? I used to be very afraid when I had a lower identity. And I was very afraid when I struggled with depression for a while. Yeah. I struggled with alcohol for a while. I was very afraid when I had other things running my life. The moment I got closer to my faith You know, obviously I love God. I believe in God. The moment that became clear and I felt like somebody was there for me no matter what, I lost a lot of that fear. If anything, I had to balance the other side, not imposing fear on other people, you know, because sometimes when you're not fearing some things, you don't realize maybe we can cause fear in other people in the way we lead, the way we manage, the way we boss, you know, the way that we do certain things. But the biggest thing that right now, if you were to ask me what I'm afraid of, is not reaching my capacity in life to what we're supposed to do. David Goggins one time said, the worst thing that could happen in your life is to come face to face and meet the person that you could have become and you didn't do it.
I love that.
I love it.
That is my biggest fear in life. That, you know, my wife just went to an event downtown with Epic Talks. And Melissa was very kind. If you're watching this, Melissa, shout out. But she showed up and they did this whole exercise where you close your eyes, you get on a boat, you arrive to this island, you get to the door, and the person that opens the door, it's you. You get invited inside. It's a beautiful lifestyle, beautiful house, beautiful place. The life is just amazing, but you can't stay there. And before you leave, that version of you gives you a little box. You open the box. What's inside? You know?
Yeah.
And it's that opportunity to not know what could I really have done, Scarlett, if I did everything the right way, the best way. I'm so afraid of not being that person.
Wow.
It's funny.
So-
It's funny that you mentioned that. We share the same fear. One of the things is, and I agree.
We're
it's-
fear brothers.
We're fear brothers. We're fear. And
Fear brothers.
this is. I'm also a man of faith. God is my number one, and there's this concept that if you believe in God, the universe, my case, God created us with a purpose. That purpose has an end.
Okay.
At the end, there's an identity that you have. So that's your God-created identity. My biggest fear is going through life knowing that God created an identity for me, and I went through life just cruising around, and I never fulfilled the promise and the mission that I was sent here to this earth to do.
If you like this clip and you want to watch more, click right here. If you want to watch a full podcast, click right here.